Hi guys, Mons here. On this episode about the months, we're going to be looking at Nigeria's World Cup hopes via the playoffs. So, just before I get started, if you're on my channel, please click on the subscribe button. I appreciate all the support. If you're already subscribed, thank you very much. If you haven't, please click on the subscribe button. Thank you very much. And also, with all my videos, with all my content, I always tell people if you agree with me, give it a thumbs up and a like, share it. If you don't agree with me, please drop a comment below. We can have a civil conversation in the comment section. Thank you very much. So, it's a miracle Nigeria actually in the playoff when you come to think about it. Because after the poor start to the qualification campaign, it looks like all hope was gone for Nigeria in this qualification campaign. However, it's a miracle we're here. We won 4-0 in the last game. We actually got into the playoff via goal difference, which is absolutely mental. It was a mental last day a couple of weeks ago. I was absolutely buzzing. I was delighted to see Nigeria in the. I was delighted to see us in the playoffs, especially on goal difference. So I'm just going to go through the playoff path if you're an African team in the African qualification. So the playoff path is there's Nigeria versus Gabon. That's the first game. There's Cameroon versus Democratic Republic of Congo. That's game 2. So the winners of both games play each other, and the winners of that final, that's going to be played on Sunday. The winners of that final go to an intercontinental World Cup qualification again. But however, if you do get into the continental one, you're already in the World Cup. But if you win the intercontinental one, you're seated better, you're seated higher, if you know what I mean, in the group stages for the World Cup. But if you don't, you're still in the World Cup if you get to the intercontinental final. It is a little bit tricky. It took me a while to understand it. I had to watch a couple of videos, people explaining it to me for me to understand it. So that's the best I can do to explain to anyone watching. So, like I said, it was very, very complicated. However, I'm looking forward to this game. This game is going to be on I think on Thursday. I think it's on Thursday. Yeah, it's on Thursday. So it's going to be a very, very good game. I think Nigeria and Gabon goes first, then Cameroon and Democratic Republic of Congo second in the evening. So in this game, obviously I want Nigeria to win. However, I think it's even in balance. Nigeria might be slight favorite, but I don't see them as a slight favorite. I think this game is even in balance simply because Nigeria, we cannot keep the ball in midfield and we can't defend. And our keeper is he has the bozo gene. Nigeria's keeper has the bozo gene. Honestly, Nigeria can't defend. They can't keep the ball, especially in midfield. I expect better, especially from the midfielders we have and the caliber of players we have, especially them playing in Europe week in, week out. However, the three main threat for Gabon, I've watched a couple of the highlights, are obviously Aubameyang. We all know Aubameyang, one of the best African strikers that has played in Europe and over the last decade or so. Mario Lemina, the erratic midfielder that played for Wolves and a couple of other Premier League teams. Very, very good on his day. On his day when he's on it, he's very, very good. And there's another guy called Dennis Bouanga. He plays for Los Angeles FC. He's been fantastic. I think he has 26 goals, 11 assists last year. And he always seems to get a goal or assist. He's an attacker. He always seems to get a goal or assist whenever he plays for Gabon. So those are three main guys I'll keep an eye Nigeria should keep an eye out for if they have an intention of winning this game. Like I said, Nigeria is slight favourites. However, I don't see them as slight favourites. I think the game is even balanced. I can see this game being a very, very fiery and feisty game. And I can also see going to extra time and maybe penalties. There's going to be very, very little to pick between these both teams. However, I do feel Nigeria edges it in the attacking option simply because we have one of the best strikers in the world, Osimhen. Osimhen is brilliant, especially when he plays for Nigeria. He gives it all. He scored a hat-trick last game to get us to the World Cup playoffs. So Osimhen, if he's on form, I can see us winning this game. Just picking Gabon to win this game. I believe, as a Nigerian, I believe Nigeria are going to win this game. However, I don't see us beating either Democratic Republic of Congo or Cameroon, whoever goes through the other group. So, but like I said, I'm still very hopeful. I'm not down in tools whatsoever. I want to see us get to the World Cup, but it's going to be a very, very difficult task in my opinion. However, this game is on Thursday. Then the final is on Sunday. Hopefully, I come back on Monday and I talk about Nigeria again in the World Cup finals in America next year. I cannot wait. And that's pretty much it for me in terms of Nigeria. Thank you very much for tuning into this video. If you have any comments, if you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, please drop a comment below. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you also subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend.